Welcome to another episode of the Jampack Report for March the 12th of 2021. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry, hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week. It's your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So if you enjoyed the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. But yesterday, there was a Bethesda Roundtable, and during that Roundtable event, we finally got a direct answer from Phil Spencer as to what the status of exclusivity is going to be in future Bethesda releases now that Bethesda is a part of Xbox. And so rather than reading the quote directly, let's go ahead and hear it from the man himself, head of Xbox, Phil Spencer.
You all have a lot of questions. We've gotten a lot of questions since we announced this deal, but one of the biggest ones, Phil, is this question about exclusivity and how you think about that and how that's going to work with Bethesda.
Yeah, I see it. I see it in the community. I listen to the podcasts and all the questions, so I'm going to try to be as clear as I can because that's what I just think it's fair. So obviously, I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players. We love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that we'll go do. But if we're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building and the creative capability we will be able to bring to market for our Xbox customers. It's going to be the best it's ever been for Xbox after we're done here.
So there you have it, the most straightforward answer to date as to what the future of Bethesda games will be in terms of exclusivity. Current multi-platform games are going to continue to see support. You will see these contractual obligations honored, such as that with Deathloop. But in the future, Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, the next Doom, it sounds like all of that is going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. But more specifically, quote, this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. Danny Pena said it the best on Gamertag Radio back in October. This is about Game Pass. Game Pass is the long game. So if Game Pass came to PlayStation or Nintendo Switch, they would be able to play these games through Game Pass. But Sony probably doesn't want the competition directly on their device, and Nintendo is also not too likely to make that happen. And so the platforms where Game Pass exists are currently Xbox consoles, PCs, and on mobile devices. And if you're looking at the grand scheme of things where the majority of players play their games, you're looking at an Xbox console and a PC as the two destinations to play Bethesda's games in the future. This has built Xbox into one of the world's most powerful gaming brands in a matter of moments, because PlayStation has thrived on the exclusives they can bring to the table. When people think about PlayStation, they think about Spider-Man and Death Stranding and God of War and The Last of Us. These are phenomenal experiences that are absolutely monumental in the gaming industry. Xbox needs that kind of experience. Of course, you have Gears of War, and you have Halo, and you have Forza, and you have Sea of Thieves, but to build that library out, and to bring phenomenal open-world RPGs and industry-leading first-person shooters, there is so much value in what Bethesda can bring that they have now become just as powerful as PlayStation in terms of the experiences they can provide players, and that is going to pay dividends in the long run when it comes to building out the Xbox community and getting more people to come and experience what Xbox has to offer from whatever route they choose to experience it from, whether it be buying a console, whether it be downloading the Xbox app on PC, whether it be downloading the Xbox app on mobile devices. They can experience some phenomenal games and have fantastic fun experiences through Xbox, and there are a lot of those experiences to be had. Now, if you want to watch the entire roundtable, it does run about an hour and 15 minutes. Highly recommend checking it out. Some fantastic coverage there if you do want to learn more about what is coming. But on top of that, they also confirmed a summer event is going to include more Bethesda news. This is just in the planning stage, and I just wanted to mention this to let you guys know to stay tuned because more information is on the way. This is not exactly a shock to see that some kind of event is coming or really big news, because this is probably going to be a big part of their E3 showcase or whatever the equivalent of an E3 showcase is going to be this year. And it seems like it's going to be a very big shared event that could be something that is completely and totally separate from the E3 event itself. So keep that tucked in the back of your mind. But if you are now in the mood to play some Bethesda games and you happen to already be a Game Pass subscriber, then boy do I have some good news for you. 20 Bethesda games from the world's most iconic franchises are available in Xbox Game Pass starting now. They are live, you can download these. The games include Dishonored Definitive Edition, Dishonored 2, Doom 1993, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64, Doom Eternal, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition, The Elder Scrolls Online, The Evil Within, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Fallout New Vegas, Prey, Rage 2, Wolfenstein The New Order, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. What a collection of games they have provided us here. This is amazing, and I'm absolutely going to be diving into some of these this weekend. I never did get a chance to check out Prey in full, and I definitely love these old school Doom games. I think I own all 3 of the classics, or all 4 of the classics, with Doom, Doom 2, Doom 64, and Doom 3, but that does not mean that I don't want to dive back in. Additionally, there is something so charming about Morrowind and Oblivion. Please check them out. Don't write them off. That sounds like a great time to dive back into those as well. It's also worth mentioning that a handful of these will also benefit from FPS boost on the Xbox Series X and S, and they will share more on that soon. So that's exciting. Perhaps you could see Morrowind and Oblivion get a bit of an FPS boost. Would love to see those running in 60 frames per second, and that could be what triggers me to go ahead and play through those in full. Of course, any of these legacy games are more than welcome to get that FPS boost because some of these are running on the original Xbox hardware. That is a bit of a stretch right there, so I would love to see some quality of life added to those. But if you do want to dive in, these games are now out on Xbox Game Pass, and man, what a service, because this is a subscription that I could not imagine living my life without. I have enjoyed so many fantastic games through Game Pass, and that is not changing anytime soon, because Halo Infinite is coming to Game Pass, and of course, if you are curious about what that game is going to entail, a new Q&A session has provided a lot of insights. Now, this is a 45-minute video that is up now on the official Halo YouTube channel, but during this 45-minute video, the developers answered a lot of questions about Zeta Halo, the location for the upcoming Halo Infinite. Now, on top of many other questions, here are a few of the highlights. First and foremost, the game has dynamic weather, with a wind system and a fog system at launch, and the potential for more variation in future updates that could bring things like storms and snowstorms. That could be something that's very exciting. Weapons cannot be upgraded, but select pieces of equipment can. They did not want the game to become too grindy. They wanted to continue to really tap into those Halo roots, and so the weapons cannot be upgraded like you can potentially do in other games of a similar nature. There will be new biomes, including higher altitudes, swampy wetlands, and war-torn areas called the Deadlands. And on top of that, there are going to be some audio logs that tell you the stories of the battles that have been fought in these Deadlands. That sounds like I'm going to be grinding through and collecting a lot of collectibles in this game. One question asked how deep the open world could go. Could the player hypothetically grab a Banshee and drive into an objective 3 missions ahead of the story? And the reply from the devs was to do it. That's a lot of open world freedom. And with that open world freedom, a lot of people begin to think back to the Silent Cartographer mission from the original Halo, and the game's open world is inspired by the Silent Cartographer mission from the original Halo, in that it gives players the freedom to choose how to approach each mission with whatever weapons or vehicles they decide to use. This is going to be amazing. Of course, for those that have not been keeping up with the Halo Infinite narrative here, whenever it was revealed last July, fans were jarred, to say the least, because the game did not look great. The game looked very plasticky. It looked like a Mega Block kind of experience. And since then, the team has been hard at work digging in and really fleshing out this world and changing the world and integrating player feedback into the experience they are creating. And the screenshots and the images and the videos that have been shared look like they have improved significantly. And this is continuing to be my most anticipated game of 2021. It was my most anticipated game of 2020, but of course it did get pushed out after that July showcase, and with the pandemic and working from home, the developers simply needed more time. So I'm incredibly excited about this. Again, if you do want to dive in, there is an entire article sharing more from Chris Scullion over at VGC, but on top of that, you can check out the official video here up on the Halo YouTube channel if you do want some more information. But speaking of video presentations, Square Enix has one coming soon on March the 18th with game reveals and more. Here is the official blog from Square Enix. Eager to hear news about some of your favorite Square Enix games? We are excited to announce the debut of a new digital event called, pause for dramatic effect, Square Enix Presents. In our inaugural show, we'll give you news and updates about some of the most exciting upcoming Square Enix games, including the world premiere of the next game in the Life is Strange series. Read on to find more about the show, including how to watch and what we will be talking about. So, the game, Life is Strange, will be debuted. On top of that, you also see news about Outriders, Marvel's Avengers, Tomb Raider 25th Anniversary, new Square Enix Montreal games, Just Cause Mobile, and Balan Wonderworld. You can tune in on March 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. GMT, Greenwich Mountain Time. Normally you put Eastern Time there. Threw me off a little bit, but you can look on YouTube, on Twitch, and on www.sepresents.com if you do want to follow along with the news. Exciting times right here. Now, I'm not a huge Square Enix guy, but out of all of the news that they are teasing here, I want to learn more about the future of Outriders. I want to learn more about that post-launch support. And then on top of that, I also want to hear more about new Square Enix Montreal games. That sounds exciting. Sounds like a world premiere is going to be there. Then, Marvel's Avengers. What is the future of that game? Because a lot of people have been up in arms about the new leveling system and the new grind that they have instituted within that game. So it should be interesting to hear more about that. But yet another Presents event is coming, and it seems like it might be seasonal, with this being titled Spring 2021. Could be seeing one that is summer, that's an E3 style event, maybe a fall and a winter. We'll have to take it as it goes, but you can check it out in 3 different locations on March the 18th. And finally, to round out today's news, EA's new college football game may not launch until 2023. This news comes from sports reporter Matt Brown, who writes on Twitter, quote, "According to internal documentation from CLC that I obtained via Open Records request, the CLC told FBS institutions that EA Sports intends to release the new video game in July of 2023. So, don't hold your breath for a new college football game later this year. For those that had not been keeping up with the news, Electronic Arts has announced that they are bringing back college football. They will not have player likenesses, and so they are pretty much just foregoing paying players and just bringing back the college football experience with the teams that we all know and love. Should be interesting to see, but this is something that was kind of expected. No one thought this game would be coming out anytime in the near future, and the official press release said as such, because who knows if this game has even started development yet. This seems like it's very much so a preliminary planning stage kind of situation. But exciting times nonetheless, so look forward to that game in, hypothetically, July of 2023, which is still a couple of years away. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below, and let me know what you think about the Bethesda Roundtable. Did they go the route that you thought they would? Did you think these games would be exclusive? And how do you feel about it? Would love to hear what you have to say. But until Monday, you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.